Okay, I'll talk about photography. Not that I pretend to know everything about photography, or not that I pretend to know very much about photography. The truth be known, even though I am a photographer, or call myself a photographer, for me, photography, the more you get to know it, the more you do it, the kind of less you really know, the more kind of tricky it becomes, the more it kind of disappears into the kind of distance. On the face of it, it's a very easy thing. Photography is light, drawing, photos, light, graph, drawing or writing, whatever you'd like. Really simple. Easy to do. You just press a button and you'll get an image, and that image has a correlation with the thing that the camera was pointing at. All quite simple. No great. You could talk about technique. Could talk about f-stops, megapixels, whatever, film grain, whatever you'd like. But fundamentally, a light drawing, you don't really need to know all about that. And arguably not that kind of interesting particularly. Arguably, maybe it is to some people. But I think photography, why I think it's tricky, is I think the rendition that has been taken from the real world through the photograph, and this idea that there's a kind of believability or a truth or an authenticity, an authentic representation of what the camera is pointing at. And you can kind of see it, you can actually say, yeah, that bit was there when I took the picture, yeah, that bit that is there in the photograph. It's kind of gently persuasive. It's kind of quite so kind of simple and so obvious that you kind of naturally believe it. It's a kind of natural thing to think that there is a kind of semblance of truth or authenticity about the photograph. However, I think beyond the surface, as soon as you actually start kind of questioning it or kind of interrogating that image, you'll soon realise that actually the camera does lie, and the camera is a liar, and the camera is a fantastic liar because of the reasons I've just been speaking about. If somebody did a drawing, then you kind of wouldn't necessarily believe it. You know, you might say, if somebody did a drawing or a portrait, and you'd look at that drawing and think, well, you know what, I think you've kind of exaggerated the nose, or you've kind of made the nose a bit smaller, or you've made them less plump in the face. And actually, you know, you'd kind of question it. And that question would become quite natural to you. With a camera, with the photograph, it doesn't kind of work like that. So you've actually got to kind of battle all the time with this sort of the photograph saying, yes, I am truthful, yes, I have an element of truth, yes, there is a sort of authenticity within me. And yet, you have to battle with that, because that's what it's always saying, and you have to battle with it because it is a liar, and you can't believe it, and you have to interrogate it, and you have to kind of like realise that context, framing, lighting, moment of time, all of those things have been kind of selected, and the photograph has been kind of wrenched from that sort of context, and that moment has been selected and then floats free from all that context, and then because that context isn't there, it's not anchored by that, then it's open to kind of manipulation and interpretation. And also, once that moment is completely free of its kind of original context, the sound, the place, etc., 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 it can be appropriated. It can actually be then recontextualized. It can be kind of reframed. It can be kind of the reading can be redirected. so that suddenly a caption on that image can completely throw the image and contaminate it and actually create meanings, very, very persuasive meanings attached to that image, which are completely contrary to any kind of authentic, real moment, or completely contrary to the context in which that photograph was taken. So, yes, it's a liar. It lies very, very well. And that's, I suppose, just kind of one instance of it.